Your case will be next. Good morning. All right, are you all ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I need a trial court certification. I don't have one.
But we keep going to be continued.
Not unless I say so.
I mean, that's. If the court decide not to do the agreement.
Mhm.
Then I can do one then, but I
All
can do
right.
it now. Judge.
All right, thank you. If you could, please. Oh, it's on the wall, Mr. Cox. Thank you. All right, court is calling 2021 CR 2125D, State of Texas versus Pete Diaz. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state
Chandler Bowen for the state of Texas.
defense?
Cornelius Cox for the defendant.
And are you Mr. Diaz?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Pete Diaz who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 2125D for the offense of theft $30,000 to $150,000 on September 29, 2021 for a period of 8 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
We're proceeding on a violated condition 8B. On or about the 31st day of July 2023 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Pete Diaz did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer on the next working day after being released from jail for a new arrest in violation of condition 8B.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
We'll waive the remaining allegations in the motion, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
No.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 8B?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition 8B true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is an agreement, Your Honor, subject to the court's approval. That is to deny the MTR, continue him on supervision with amended conditions, specifically to include the batter's intervention and prevention program, to continue his compliance with the San Antonio Fatherhood Program, to impose a no contact order with Jessica Contreras, to have the defendant enroll in intensive outpatient treatment, weekly UAs until he's testing clean, and then back to regularly or randomly scheduled UAs.
That's right.
All right, you want to raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Yes.
All right, so what drug would you be positive for? That they're saying they're trying to wait till it gets out of your system?
They say it was meth and opioids.
Mhm.
I haven't used any, at that time, everybody at the work was getting sick and I worked with a bunch of seniors. They had gave me different kinds of meds. I took it, but I'd understand that I shouldn't be taking anything, but I took they're all retired nurses, surgeon nurses, and
So you're just saying they just gave you free medication?
they saw me sick. I'm the maintenance man for them, and they're trying to, I guess, make me feel better. I should have just gone to the doctor, took some medication from there. I was taking all kinds of. My boss came out positive for COVID.
And who is Jessica Contreras?
She's my baby mother.
You mean the mother of your child?
Yes, two. Good. We're no longer together. She's moved toward Tyler.
So she's in a different city?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is happening with this new number 1?
It's going to be rejected, Your Honor, as part of this agreement.
All right, court will deny the motion, alter and amend conditions. To include the BIPP course. Parenting classes. Is that covered on the San Antonio Fatherhood Program?
I believe it's a similar program, Your Honor.
All right, probation, if the San Antonio Fatherhood Program is similar to the parenting classes, then the court will accept that. The BIPP course. No contact with Jessica Contreras. So for any visitation, you'll have to do that through a third party. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So who is the probation officer for Mr. Diaz? All right, if you'll come forward, please. All right, so Ms. Martinez, with regards to Mr. Diaz, they're recommending the BIPP course, San Antonio Fatherhood Program, no contact with Jessica Contreras, and intensive outpatient treatment with weekly UAs. Is there anything else you think he may need, or have there been any other issues with him?
No, ma'am, that's fine.
Okay. All right, and so what we'll do is we'll do the intensive. I'm really torn on asking for intensive outpatient treatment because he's saying that the reason he tested positive is for medication that he was given where he works.
Yes, that's what he told me.
So have there been any other positives with him?
No, no, Your Honor, but we did get it confirmed and with the lab, and it did test positive for methamphetamine.
Well, is that from a medication?
It didn't say, it just said it was positive for meth.
All right, this is what I'm gonna do. Do you have a drug problem, Mr. Diaz? We're gonna do UAs. And we're gonna do weekly UAs. Or either we can do, or either you can do the patch. And then once he tests negative, we're gonna start with random UAs. And if there's a positive UA, then we'll see where we are. So there will be weekly UAs until a negative test is presented. And once it's negative, and can you test for levels to make sure things are not going up?
I believe it's only for marijuana. We test the levels.
Well, here's the thing. This meth should not be in your system after this week. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we'll do weekly UAs until he's negative. So I'm gonna want him tested every week. And then thereafter, it will be random UAs.
Can we do the IVR for the random?
Yes. So it'll be the hotline for the random UAs. Do you understand? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
Is there anything else he needs?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello. Hi. Are you all ready to proceed on this?
Yes, Judge. Speak up.
All right, court is calling 2023 CR 4230, State of Texas versus Darian Renee Delarosa. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Daniel Escobar from the state of Texas.
defense?
Chair of the jury for Mr. Delarosa.
All right, and are you Miss Delarosa?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same Darian Renee Delarosa who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2023 CR 4230 for the offense of robbery on July 17, 2023 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, sir.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 2, on or about the 9th day of September 2023 in Barrett County, Texas, the defendant, Darian Renee Delarosa, did then and there admit to using an illegal substance, namely marijuana, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Your Honor, state waives all the violations.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, sir.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2? Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Judge, the proposed agreement is for her to go to the DDRF program.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, and you're aware of the wait time for DDRF?
Yes, Your Honor, Negro will.
All right, and I see, even though I'm not going to consider it, there are other allegations in the motion with regards to drug use. So what are we thinking the issue is? Is it mental health?
I think she just goes out and the community judge and hangs on for one individuals.
All right, so why are we saying DDRF instead of her going to drug rehab somewhere?
I mean, my understanding was that it was mental health plus drug issues, which DDRF will be able to address.
Probation? Miss Delarosa, you guys are recommending DDRF?
Your Honor, that recommendation came from Judge Flynn.
Okay, all righty. Then we'll do DDRF. And then after she completes that, see if they'll accept her back in felony drug court.
Yes, Your Honor.
So the court will deny the motion, alternate main conditions to include DDRF and a referral back to felony drug court after completion of DDRF. Is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Ms. Delarosa, you're looking at 20 years in prison. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And when your counsel tells me the problem is you're hanging out with the wrong people, you know what those people would tell me? That they're hanging out with the wrong people. And I'll say, who is that? And they'll tell me it's you. You're gonna have to get your life together. This is serious. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Robert Featherston,
Yes, Your Honor.
hi, are you ready?
Yeah, Judge, we are.
Do you need a moment?
No, Judge, I just got what I needed.
Okay.
I'm going to ask the court for another continuance, and the reason why is Mr. Ramirez has a daughter that has a brain issue.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
they were evaluating her last setting, so we got a little bit of extra time for them to finish the evaluation. They did not do surgery last time. She had seizures again this morning, and they have to take her to Houston on November 3rd for evaluation for brain surgery. And it's completely up to the court as to whether.
We'll go on the record.
All right, Judge.
All right. All right, Mr. Johnny Ramirez. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 6932, State of Texas versus Johnny Guy Ramirez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins, Judge.
Defense?
Robert Featherston.
All right, we're here for Johnny Ramirez for sentencing today. Off the record, defense counsel was telling me that he was going to ask for a continuance. Did you file a motion or no?
No, Judge, no motion was filed. I literally just found out that the surgery has not yet taken place.
All right. State, any objection to the defense's oral motion for continuance?
No, Judge.
All right, court will hear argument.
Your Honor, to please the court, the child has an appointment in Houston for evaluation for brain surgery on November the 3rd. We're respectfully requesting that the court allow him to come back November the 10th for sentencing. He's already been admonished that the full range of punishment is available if he doesn't appear for sentencing.
All right, so state, are you going to have any objection?
Just the same admonishment, Judge, the full range, and I would ask the court to remind the defendant that if you are inclined to grant this, that's the day.
All right, so here's my question. Counsel, you're an officer of the court. Do you have proof of this? Proof of the fact that there is a brain issue with his daughter? Do you have proof?
Judge, I have not had any independent investigation on my part. The representations made by his wife of what I am relying on, that the child has to go to Houston on November the 3rd.
All right, so with regards to her issue, does anybody have any medical documentation whatsoever?
My wife does.
All right, so let's, he says his wife has medical documentation. Counsel, if you could go take a look at that documentation and tell the court if it's appears to be true.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Motions for bond reduction. People always tell you in college, oh, you need to file a motion to have the bond reduced. But sometimes attorneys just come before the court and they have an agreement and they do that. All right, we're gonna go back on the record in 2023 CR 6932. Oh, if you can come forward, Mr. Ramirez.
Your Honor, please report, I'd like to call Valerina Flores, the child's mother.
All right, so I know you're gonna call her as a witness, but, and I will hear from her, but is there any documentation that you've seen?
I believe there is, Judge.
Okay.
The terminology is medical terminology. It doesn't say brain surgery, but it does list her maladies.
Okay,
And if the court will allow me, she'll bring up the online medical record. It can tell you what the different diagnoses are.
all right, we can bring her up, but counsel, I mean, you've looked at it, I'll take your word for it, but if you want to bring her up as a witness, we can.
Well, we might as well get on the record what those maladies are.
Okay, sure. And what is her name?
Malaria.
I'm sorry?
Malaria.
Valeria. All right, thank you. All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Valeria Flores.
All right, defense.
Ms. Flores, if you would take a look at the online record in the section where it lists what the evaluations are on your child. A little further down. Right here. Can you read those out, please?
She has left hemiplegia.
All right, just 1 second. Let's do this. If you can move closer to the court reporter,
Okay.
and when you state whatever you're stating, if you can spell it, that'll
Okay.
make it easier for her. Okay,
Okay. Left hemiplegia, it's LEFT. Hemiplegia is HEMIPLEGIA.
And just spell it a little slower.
HEMIPLEGIA.
Yes.
Seizure disorder. Left hemiparesis. Left, and then hemiparesis is HEMIPARESIS. Cerebral palsy. Closed fracture of shaft of right clavicle. Closed fracture of shaft of clavicle. And then elevated blood pressure reading without diagnosis of hypertension.
Your Honor, to please support, those are what are listed in the medical records.
all right. Thank you so much for letting us know, okay?
Right.
Your Honor, may she be excused?
Yes, oh, I'm sorry. When is the surgery or when are you all scheduling things?
We just did a 48-hour EEG to determine where her seizures are at, and come to find out it's her entire brain. So November 3rd, the doctor wants to talk with us with a colleague in Houston,
Mhm.
just to get a better understanding of what type of surgery they're going to perform.
All right, and how old is she?
She's 16.
All right, we're gonna be praying for her.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. If we can go off the record for a moment. Page.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you guys want to just print that out and write that in, you can.
Thank you.
Oh, and counsel, the application.
We'll do.
All right. It's difficult. Johnny Ramirez. Court is calling 2023 CR 6932, State of Texas versus Johnny Guy Ramirez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Robert Featherston representing Mr. Ramirez.
All right. Are you Johnny Guy Ramirez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. It's the court understanding is that both the state and the defense have entered into a new plea bargain agreement. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that correct, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct, defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So the same admonishments that I've given you before apply. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you waiving your right to trial?
Yes, ma'am.
So with regards to the enhancement, which enhancement is he pleading true to?
It's the first, in the paperwork, it's the first one, Judge. It's cause number 2013 CR 1015.
Right. And how do you plead to that enhancement? True or not true?
True.
All right. With regards to the plea bargain page, did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
All right. So according to the plea, you agree that you've been previously convicted of enhancement. Paragraph 1, the punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. The state is silent on your application. Did you understand that to be the case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor, with this application for deferred.
All right. And state, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to show you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
And then state, it's the court understanding as well. And we're going a little bit out of order here because there's been a new plea bargain agreement reached. But state, are you offering into evidence state's exhibit number 2, which is the judgment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. And outside the agreement, the state is requesting a TAP evaluation. Did you understand that was a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation?
Yes.
All right. You previously pled guilty. Do you still wish to enter a plea of guilty?
Yes.
All right. State, do you have any evidence to support this plea?
Your Honor, I offer state's exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, the court has previously reviewed that. Mr. Ramirez, do you understand the previous admonishments that the court gave you with regards to states exhibits 1 and 2?
Yes.
All right. The court has reviewed states exhibits 1 and 2. The court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Do you understand that in regards to your application for deferred adjudication, if the court were to grant that, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to apply for deferred adjudication?
Yes.
All right. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, the court and the state are both being very kind. He has accepted responsibility for his actions in this case. And we respectfully request that the court follow the plea agreement and give him a deferred.
All right. Are you employed?
Actually, no, ma'am, I'm not right now.
All right.
Take care of my kids at home.
I'm sorry.
I'm taking care of my kids at home,
All right. How old are your children?
2 and 3.
And the 16-year-old?
She goes to school. She goes to school, and my other daughter goes to school too.
All right. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Well, I am still dirty.
Dirty for what?
For both meth and for marijuana.
All right. So you shouldn't still be dirty for meth and marijuana since this plea was originally taken on October 13th. So it's clear to the court that you have a drug problem.
Yes, I guess, and nobody's ever given me no treatment.
No. We're doing this one step at a time.
Okay.
So you have a drug problem.
Yes, ma'am.
Your problem is with meth. And you're not any good to anyone if you're using meth. You're not good to your daughter who has this brain issue and that's going in. You should not be allowed to be taking care of a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. And I'm not going to allow that.
I don't do it like when I take care of them and stuff.
No, right now, you should not be allowed to take care of 2-year-old and 3-year-old. Let me ask you this question.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's say you need a babysitter, right?
Yes.
and somebody has recommended me to you. I come out, I meet the family. Everybody says, oh, Stephanie's great. So I come out to your house and you and your wife say, you know what? We're going to see if the children like her. Children love me. I'm the Black Mary Poppins. You all take a break. You said, we're going to test her. We're going to turn on cameras and we're going to tell her we're going to the store. You go to the store. I'm still the same great person. And you come back and the children like, please, can we keep the Black Mary Poppins? And you guys say yes. So you all decide to hire me. And I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. And then as I'm walking out the door, I said, you know what? You guys seem like a nice family. Your children are nice. Let me just tell you something about myself that nobody knows. And I tell you, I use meth and marijuana, but don't worry. I'm not going to use meth and marijuana over the children. I will do it before I come. Are you still going to let me be a babysitter? I'm sorry?
No, I wouldn't.
That's what you're doing. So I'm not going to allow it.
I don't want, I would pick all that stuff.
So you're not going to be allowed to take care of a 2-year-old and 3-year-old. You understand? And you need to get a job. There's no excuse for you not having employment. And if you're on deferred out of this court, I require people to have employment. And would your wife test positive?
No.
So here's the thing about that. Your wife then, since she won't test positive, she's holding everything down by herself. She has employment. She's dealing with her daughter who has these medical issues that she has to take to Houston. She can't depend on you to drive to Houston because you're using meth and drugs. She has a 2-year-old, 3-year-old. She can't depend on you. So right now you're not bringing anything to the table. But when you're on deferred adjudication out of this court, you're going to bring something to the table. You understand?
I'm sure I will. Change.
All right. It's going to be 10 years deferred adjudication. We're going to do a TAP evaluation. And he's going to follow TAP recommendations. So if it recommends inpatient treatment, you're going to inpatient treatment. And the fact that your daughter has a medical issue, you're still going into inpatient treatment. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And counsel, if you can see, maybe Lifetime Recovery will accept him into their inpatient program.
I'll check on that, Judge.
All right. There is going to be the UA hotline. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. Doesn't matter if it's your child or not, you're not to have unsupervised contact with them. So there needs to be an adult if you're going to be there. And if the adult says, I need to go to the grocery store real quick, you take care of the children, you better tell them no. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until further notice or until he's at the Lifetime Recovery Residential. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. $200 hours of community service restitution. That will be waived upon completion of parenting classes. And probation, whatever parenting classes you all deem is necessary. All right, probation, is there anything else he needs?
Oh, no.
All right, is there anything else you need from this court to be successful? Do you need anything else to help you not come back here for a revocation? All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so off the record, from here on out, everything you do in your life, you know what you need to ask yourself some questions before you do it. One, is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 20 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. The only reason why you have this agreement before you right now is because of your daughter's medical issues, not because of anything that you have done. So you had better take this opportunity to do better and not use drugs. All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Are you all ready to proceed on the motion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
All right. Is this going to be contested or no?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I don't have an. I do. All right. The court is calling 2022 CR 5859 State of Texas versus Thomas Nathaniel Henson. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Zach Dunn for the state.
for the defense?
Catherine Valenzuela.
Are you Thomas Henson?
Please remove.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and state's motion to supplement motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke probation. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes.
Are you the same Thomas Nathaniel Henson who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 5859 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on September 15, 2022 for a period of 4 years?
Yes, sir.
State?
Your Honor, on or about the 11th day of August 2023 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Thomas Nathaniel Henson, committed the offense of assault in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State?
And Your Honor, there's an agreement.
The other allegations?
There are none, Your Honor.
Are you waiving?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Any objections to the waivers?
No objection to the waivers, Your Honor.
All right. Did you understand by plea and true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yeah.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Your Honor. We have an agreed recommendation to continue and for DDRF.
That is understanding, Your Honor.
All right. Probation, is that your recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the wait time for DDRF?
Your Honor.
The wait time is 6 to 13 weeks. Do we have any other alternatives?
State ISF cognitive track, Your Honor. That wait time.
All right, but will that address the issue? Because DDRF, I'm assuming there's a mental health issue.
And Your Honor, that had been the first recommendation, then he did the tap about, and that's why we got to NDRF, but the first recommendation had been ISF cognitive.
All right,
Sorry.
no problem.
So yes, the original recommendation was for the state ISF cognitive track, but we did an updated tap while he's been in Bexar County, and the recommendation changed for DDRF due to the mental testing.
All right, so the new number 1, who is the complainant? I mean, what is the relationship?
My girlfriend.
Girlfriend. All right, and are we doing no contact with the girlfriend?
I believe there had been, she did sign an affidavit of non-constitution. We did enter plea to proceed with the treatment that he believes he does need, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm going to order no contact with that person. And then once his mental health is stable, we'll do something different. Do you understand? I'm sorry, you need to speak up. All right, so do you have anyone else that you can live with? Mother?
I wasn't just living with her. She was living. She was staying.
Okay, you're mumbling. I can't understand. I can't hear you in the court report. I can't hear you.
I wasn't living with her. She was staying with me. So.
All right, so do you have your own place? So who are you living with?
Yes, sir. I was staying with my grandma.
All right, so you need to stop inviting people to live with your grandmother when she's already have you living with her. You understand?
Yes,
So were you supporting yourself at all? Or were you just dependent upon your grandmother?
I mean, I wasn't paying rent, but I wasn't.
Were you working? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Sometimes.
So that means that you're not bringing in a stable income and you're bringing somebody else into your grandmother's house. That's a big no-no. You understand?
Yes.
All right, probation, anything with Center for Healthcare Services or?
Your Honor, I think. And I know that the state waived and abandoned the other allegations, however. He last reported to probation in March. So that's a concern for us. Right before he absconded, he did produce one negative UA, the others were positive. He did not complete his hostility management course that was originally mandated. I think our concern would be that he would abscond again without actually getting the help that is necessary.
All right, do you want to go to prison? Because we can do that. Then why are you behaving as though you want to go to prison by not reporting? That's the easiest thing on the planet to do. You're obviously not working, really. So you're just watching television with your grandmother or something, or putting a burden on her where she has to feed you and then you're bringing a girlfriend into the house. That seems like all you were doing and not doing well on probation. Do you want to go to prison for up to 20 years? All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'll deny the motion. There's to be no contact with the complainant, whatever her name is, give that to probation. So the complainant and condition number 1, you are not to have any contact with her. Do you understand? So as far as your probation is concerned, that relationship is over. Do you understand? Do you have any children with her? So that relationship is over. If you end up violating my order and having contact with her, you could potentially go to prison for 20 years. Do you understand? And we're going to do state ISF cognitive and substantive track. And then we'll see where that leaves us.
Okay, Your Honor, I do want to point out that the way that state ISF is being ran now, it's not a double track anymore. It's either one or the other.
We'll do cognitive.
Thank you, Judge.
And then after that, when he's released, we'll put him on GPS, partial for work, until further notice. And you to reside at your grandmother's house. You understand?
Oh.
And Your Honor, for Mr. Henson's benefit, what are you looking for, or what is the court looking for so that he could get off GPS? I mean, just so that he knows, like, if he's always reporting, attending.
Oh, he needs to show me that he's actually taking this probation seriously.
Okay.
If you're not taking it seriously, what's going to end up happening is a motion to revoke is probably going to be filed. And instead of you worried about GPS, you'll be looking at potentially 20 years in prison. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. And see probation if those fees can be waived.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And this is an application.
Probably to the Senate.
Court is calling 2023 CR 6620 State of Texas versus Samuel Alexander Ramirez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins to the state, Your Honor.
Defense.
Julie Pollock.
And are you Samuel Ramirez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna, counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Ramirez, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Sorry, Judge. We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramirez, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2, less than 1 gram in a drug-free zone? That's a 3rd-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Ramirez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promise you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, the state is recommending deferred adjudication, and this has no impact. Well, I don't understand why you all would put does not affect family violence cases pending indictment.
Yes, ma'am. They were, he's got some family violence cases that are still hanging out there. I just wanted to make clear to the court and to the defense, and maybe if another prosecutor is looking at this in the future, that this does not contemplate taking those into consideration or having any effect on those cases, Judge.
All right, do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did y'all understand that to be the entirety of the plea? State,
Yes, Your Honor.
defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement. The state is asking that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and 200 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No objections.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you and your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. What grade are you in high school?
12th grade.
Why were you not in class?
I think we were there in the bathroom. They were going in the bathroom.
No, I know you were in the bathroom. You all were in the bathroom doing drugs. So my question is, obviously you were not in the bathroom to use the facilities for anything that was not.
I was on the way to the bathroom and I just met up with my friends and we just went to the restaurant.
No, there are other things that happen. School hasn't changed that much since I've been in there where you get the hall pass to go to the restroom.
No, I wasn't in class yet. I was on my way to class and then I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. So I met up with my friends because I seen them coming down the other hall.
Yeah, I say, hey, let's go to the restroom and use drugs. So what are your grades like?
A's and B's.
Judge, he's trying to turn his life around. He is enrolled full-time at.
No, but are his grades A's and
John Jay,
B's?
according to his parents who are here.
Yeah, but sometimes parents overlook things. That's why.
Oh,
He's in the
they've got a
restroom.
handle on this. He's in AP classes and he's getting A's and B's because he has finally realized he needs to turn his life around.
And I'm gonna go.
Plus, he is working.
Yes,
I'm gonna go to college too after school, after I graduate. All my classes are credit classes. So after I get all good grades in them, I graduate this year.
so why does it take this for you to get your life in order? I'm sure your parents' rules are not crazy rules.
I just made bad choices.
Yeah, why are you making these bad choices? And until you were caught this time, how often were you using drugs?
Twice a week, not even often. I wasn't.
Well, I mean, that's often.
Yeah.
Twice a week is often. Do you know how often I use drugs?
Never.
Yes. So using drugs once a week, that's often. Twice a week, that's often. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you're drug tested today, what are the results gonna be? And you're gonna get tested today.
I'll be negative.
All right, so we're gonna have him drug tested. And we're gonna see what the results are. And then I'm gonna make my ruling.
All right,
So are you ready to
so-
go or do you need water?
I need some water.
Okay, all right, just have a seat. We're gonna test you today.
I'll go back to the back.
Yeah,
And y'all don't have a file, do you?
Yes.
Judge, the drug test for Ms. Ramirez came back positive for
Okay.
methamphetamines and amphetamines, but the way that the drug test is for methamphetamines, it could be the positive that the amphetamines is given off. He says he is on medication for ADHD. I did tell him he needs to provide that prescription to he's already on probation in a county court, a misdemeanor case.
Mhm.
He has not done any UAs with that case just yet,
Mhm.
but I did tell him he needs to provide the prescription so that when if he goes to do his test next, he can at least have that on file.
all right, does he have a prescription? Oh, his parents? All right, Samuel Ramirez. And we're not on the record yet. All right, does he have prescription medication?
His mom informs me that he had a prescription for Adderall.
Okay, they say had. Does that mean that he's currently on that prescription medication or not?
You'll have to talk to mom about that.
All right, you want to come forward briefly? Hi. So
Hello.
he does he have prescription medication?
He does have prescription medication. Since he's been incarcerated, he doesn't have an updated one. So at our house, we're still gonna have his medication there.
No. See, I'm trying to figure out, one,
Mhm.
is the prescription current? And two, is he using the prescription? We're not on the record right now. Here's the thing,
No, I understand.
parents. We're here because your son has an issue. Your son using drugs in a restroom at a high school.
Correct.
And sometimes parents want to see their children as they hope they will be, not as they are. So I'm trying to figure out what would be good to help him so that he won't be in the criminal justice system and end up going to prison and end up being an orange with other inmates.
Right.
So I need to know whether or not he does have a prescription for this that he's using, or is he doing something else? Because if he's doing something else, then we can help him. But if people are being dishonest with the court about what he's doing, I can't help him. And 9 times out of 10, he's probably going to end up getting into more trouble and may end up at the Bexar County Jail. And at the Bexar County Jail, which you know, they bring you out in orange. When they do your laundry at the jail, guess what? Everybody's laundry goes in the same pile. There's no sorting. So you're going to end up with inmate B's underwear, whatever. You understand? And how old are you?
18.
You're 18. When you go to the Bexar County Jail, things happen at the Bexar County Jail. And people want to pretend like it doesn't, but things happen at the Bexar County Jail. Things happen at the prison. So I'm trying to get some honesty in here so I can see what's best for you. So hopefully you can get back on track. And yes, I'm hoping you go to college or either go to a trade school, get your life together where your parents don't worry about you and you don't use drugs anymore. But I need 100% honesty in here because otherwise he's going to end up getting in trouble on the probation in this court. And his attorney will tell you, everybody else tells you, probation in this court is not easy because the conditions I give people is not cookie cutter. It's what they need to hopefully get their life back on track. So parents got to be honest and see their children as they are. Maybe they'll end up being great. And you will look back on this time and you will say, do you remember that bump in the road? He'll be like, yes, great job. You've gotten your life back on track. So I need to know whether or not he's using something he should not be using. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the issue with him?
I don't know if he's using anything. I can tell you with honesty that he does have prescription medication at home that's been prescribed to him by his psychiatrist. He has been incarcerated. He's been out, I want to say a few months, but he has been incarcerated in Bexar County. Now, if he took his prescription medication that's in our home voluntarily on his own without consulting me to get him a visit with his psychiatrist, to get him an updated appointment, to get a new prescription for this year, that's on him. I do not, in my home, I do not condone his behavior. He hasn't lived with me while he did this behavior. He has been in Bexar County, so he knows what it's like.
Who has he been living with?
He was living with his grandfather. He was living with my mother. At one point, he was living in a sober living home. So my home is probably equivalent to jail.
Okay, so why wasn't he living with you?
He wasn't living with me because he didn't want to go to school. The school that he was in, it was Rise Recovery. He didn't want to go to that school, minimal students, they were helping him. He didn't have a drug problem, but my family, we put him voluntarily in rehab for marijuana. He didn't have a problem to go to rehab, but like I said, it was voluntarily. He went and he got out. He went to Rise Recovery. He didn't want to go to Rise Recovery, which is an amazing school. Like I said, minimal students. He didn't have a lot of peers. He wanted to go to a traditional high school. I wasn't okay with that. So I talked to staff at the school and they placed him in a sober living with men. And I believe a few people his age, and they would go to meetings. They would pick him up for school, help him find a job. When it came down to him to apply for his scholarship to live in the sober living, he opted not to do that, not to consult with me, and decided to live with my mother. My mother then went to get him, moved him out of there, and stated that she was going to place him in school, be on him to make sure that he did everything he needed to. When that happened is when this occurred. What we're essentially here for. That happened in the school that she placed him in. From that point on, everything just went downhill for him.
So which school is he currently in?
He's in John Jay.
All right. So do you think John Jay is a good place for him, or should he be back at Rice Recovery?
In my opinion, Rise Recovery. John Jay, not good. Maybe there's some good that comes out of that school, and I've seen that, but in my opinion, I shouldn't have to be calling the school to let them know students are smoking marijuana in the restroom.
No.
I shouldn't volunteer my time, take my time off of work to tell them, I'll go and monitor your girls' restrooms just to make sure students don't end up doing drugs in your restroom. I even offered my husband to do the same for the boys' restroom. And they said they don't have enough staff, they don't have enough teachers to do that, which is understandable. We all know that our teachers are underpaid. There's not enough teachers. But I can only do if they'll take my help, I can only do the bare minimum. I tell him the same thing. Don't go to restrooms, don't do this, don't do that. But I mean, what can I do? But
all right, well, I'm going to do something.
yes,
We're going to help with this situation.
Can you tell the judge, I mean, is he going to school full
he does.
time?
He goes to school full time.
And I've
Like-
seen his grades
Yes.
and the classes he's taking. It's chemistry and
Yes, he's very smart. He's compared to kids his age, he's very intelligent. Been in pre-AP since middle school, continued pre-AP into high school. So he's very intelligent. He's very smart, book smart.
is he missing any classes?
No, he shows up. He does have tardies because he likes to go to the restroom before class. But I told him, I'm tired of getting the phone calls that you're tardy. So you need to go to the classroom, meet with the teacher, let them know you have to go to the restroom so they can at least take accountability for you being in class. If not, I'm going to continue getting these calls. And if that's going to happen, then you can go out of my house. He's 18, he's an adult. He knows what he has to do. Like I said, my house is equivalent to Bear County Jail.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So this is what we're going to do. All right, we're going to come back for sentencing. And this is what I want everyone to give me. One, he needs to have a plan for me. A plan for, since you're a senior,
So,
if you're planning on going to college, then you need to show the court that you've actually filed some applications.
I don't know,
For college.
Wednesday or today, if I go back to school, I'm gonna actually have my apply ready for that college. So after I graduate, I go straight to college.
All right, so that needs to be done. And then I want an update on the psychiatrist and see what medications he's actually supposed to be on. And you're going to come back to the court with a letter telling the court what you want to do with your life. And then I'm going to make a decision on what conditions will be best suited for you so that we don't have you coming back through the system. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
What do you
And-
know, what day do I, what,
Oh,
today?
I'm going to give you a date. No, it's not going to be today.
I just know it's a Adderall, like, I know Risperidone. or something
Okay.
like that.
So what days are your classes?
My days are like school,
Yes. Is it all week?
yeah, Monday to Friday.
Okay.
8
When do
period.
you all have testing?
When we have testing, we recently been doing testing, I'll say that Mondays, Friday, but every day we can do a test.
Okay. So do you all have a recess break or anything of that nature?
Only
No, I
lunch,
mean for holiday coming up.
Oh,
That's what I
no.
mean. Usually,
like spring break,
yes.
not that I know of so far.
Hmm.
I get out at 4:20, I ride the bus home, and by the time I get home, it's 5:05.
So he doesn't get out till 4:20. Yes. What time do you start?
School starts at 8:50.
Starts at 8:50. We need to figure something out. Mom, can you come back up? We need to figure out what's a good time for him and what's a good time that doesn't interfere with your work schedule. So maybe he can come here.
Or next court date.
Mhm.
Preferably Wednesdays. My husband's off on Wednesdays. I work half days on Wednesdays, so anything on a Wednesday would work.
Okay, so we're gonna do a Wednesday. And then, so would you all be able to pick him up from school? Okay, do you think on Wednesday he could leave school early?
Yeah, as long as he has an excuse, so wherever he has to go, I'm sure that he can get an excuse, so.
We'll write him an excuse and we will just say he was asked to appear in court.
Okay,
Oh, that's Thanksgiving. Oh, I'll remember Thanksgiving break. But they're gonna come up with this pretty soon for me. So Norma, are we able to do it Wednesday, November 15th?
yes, sir.
All right, so we're gonna come back Wednesday on November 15th. And Bashan, I know how Wednesdays are for us. You will not be here. When are you gonna be back? Some people are going on cruises. I hope people know how to swim. They don't.
Or is that Thanksgiving?
That's Thanksgiving week. You know what?
It's fine, yeah.
They're off from school on the 21st. Are you guys off from?
They
That
do
would
have a
still-
Thanksgiving break. I'm not sure of the dates, though. I mean, Northside calendar should show it.
All right, you know what? Are we able to do it on November 29th? Council, is that good for you? All right, because that'll give him plenty of time to see
Yes,
the
ma'am.
psychiatrist, if he needs to see the psychiatrist, to get his medications in order and to get done what I want done.
And then
Yes, and what we'll do is on the 29th, since he says he gets off at 4, what are your afternoon classes? What courses are they?
like on my classes, like subject,
Yeah, in the afternoon time.
I have English, I have history, I have credit recovery. I have
Oh, that's a new one, credit recovery. They don't do economics anymore. We had an economics class. They just don't do
Yeah,
that.
he has an-
Oh, they do economics,
uh,
but do they do language arts? They brought back language arts. I bet you they didn't bring back cursive writing. No. Oh, okay.
They have to write cursive.
So we'll come back on the 29th. And then if you can have him here, Vashon, is 3 o'clock too late? All right, 29th at 3 p.m. And if you can pick him up and bring him here, and we will give him an excuse.
Perfect.
So you know what you have to do?
uh,
All right. And when you come back next, if you do a UA, it had better be clean with the exception of any medications that are prescribed. You understand?
yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll
Yeah.
see you then.
Excuse me, am I able to get a
I'll
get you a
recent
Yes. We're going to go on the record now. Court is calling 2023 CR 9542W, State of Texas versus Ashley Marie Hernandez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Attorney Bill Simmons for defense.
And are you Miss Ashley Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, you received all the discovery. Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Hernandez, did you review the document entitled Waiver of Indictment, Reading of Information and Rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure with your attorney? Did you understand it
Yes, ma'am.
and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, who's in the, off the record, who's that back there? Oh, sure. Okay, no problem. Oh, no problem. All right, did you understand, we're back on the record, did you understand that you have a right to have a grand jury hear the evidence in this case and make a decision on whether or not this case should be held over for trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand your attorney has certain rights, namely 2 days from the presentation of the information and 10 days from the presentation of the information to prepare for trial? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment, reading of information and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you the information. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the information?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the information as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
My opinion, she does, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, she is and was, Your Honor.
Ms. Hernandez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's to be a $200 fine probated. The state will take in consideration the following cases: NIMAG number 734-824, 706-758, 706-759. They're recommending deferred adjudication, and they're asking for a drug court evaluation. So just so you're aware, drug court is full, but we will ask for the evaluation, but you may not get in. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, ma'am.
State is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
State offer, state exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No objection.
Showing you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you and your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
And Judge, may I approach? I was
Yes.
gonna look at the court admonishments. I believe I forgot to write in possession of controlled substance and the full body. I think it's a blank space. I should put it in.
Let me see. All right, you may want to look in there. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing? Counsel, are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We would just pray that the court follow the plea agreement.
All right, Ms. Hernandez, when's the last time you were employed?
Like 4 months ago,
Doing what?
my dad has he owns a lawn care.
All right, what's the name of this person you were with?
Like working.
No,
Jack
and the police
Hernandez.
report.
Oh, some homeless guy that I was out there with.
All right, just off the record for a moment. So on this, instead of putting this in here, if you just say that he was in, yeah. Thank you. All right, we're back on the record.
It was just some random guy. I was homeless at the time. It was just some guy up the street. User.
Okay. Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are they?
I have a 17-year-old, a set of twins that are 14 and a 13-year-old.
And where are they?
They've been adopted. They've been out of my life for, well, I'm gonna say pretty much all my life.
Okay, how often were you using?
I was using for at least 10 years.
Okay,
I've been clean for almost a year already. I was using heroin.
well, it can't be almost a year because we're still in
Barely going off like.
all right, because we're still in 2023. Am I right in that?
Yes, ma'am.
And this offense was April 3rd, 2023. So you haven't been clean for a year.
That's going to, it's going on a year, right? I mean, a couple months, I guess.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to a $200 fine that'll be probated. I'm going to want a TAP evaluation. Follow all TAP recommendations. Sorry. Follow TAP recommendations. If they recommend inpatient treatment, she needs to go to inpatient treatment. And that's to be followed by felony drug court, 4 years deferred adjudication, 150 hours of community service restitution. The TAP evaluation is to take place in custody. Proof of employment within 45 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. We'll do the UA hotline until further notice. Field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Judge, she has a job, I believe, outside. But the real question is just, do we know about how long the TAP evaluations are taking right about now?
Probation, how long is TAP? 2 weeks.
Would the court consider? Well, I don't know. Would you like to explain to the court why you feel like you need to be?
Honestly, because me being sober living and my dad being back in my life, he's helping me get back into church, and I wanted to be a part of this ritual, this what is it called? It's like a woman barrier, and I wanted to go on this retreat so I can cleanse myself and actually.
Okay, let me ask you this. This retreat, does that retreat happen every year?
No, it's just like one time. It's just one time. Like I
Like they only have it one time forever?
No, ma'am, but honestly, this is what I signed up for. So I've been living with this lady and I told her I honestly would be there for her. Like, and she's.
All
my
right, so
support. I'm not.
here's
lying.
the thing. I've read the police report.
Yes, ma'am.
There's heroin and everything else going on with you.
Yes, ma'am.
So no, the answer is going to be no from the court. You're going to do a TAP evaluation in custody. And if they recommend inpatient treatment, you're going into inpatient treatment. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Have you been to prison before?
Yes, ma'am.
For what?
For intent to deliver.
All right. And so felony drug court is not going to accept her. So we can take felony drug court off the list and do a gang evaluation. What is the tattoo on your chest about?
Jesse? It's my ex-boyfriend. He passed away. I put his name. It's Jesse. That's it.
Okay. We're going to do a gang evaluation and we're going to remove felony drug court because with the intent to deliver, felony drug court is not going to accept her. You understand? Okay, here's the thing. You have a drug problem. That's why we're here.
I understand.
And you've been to prison before, and so you still haven't gotten your life together. State has offered you deferred. People want
I'm trying right now.
to write their own program. Guess what? If you could write your own program, we wouldn't even be here because you would have written your program and you would have been successful and you wouldn't have been with some random guy that you don't know and y'all using random drugs.
That was the first case now.
Showing you that's what's in the police report for this case. Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yeah.
She just had like a appeal form. She
Yes.
follows up the agreement.
All right, so here's the thing. I don't understand why I'm getting pushback in the attitude. Here's the thing. If you want to, you can withdraw your plea. In exchange, I will send you to the state jail facility. You can do your time, you can get out, and you can again try to write your own program. You understand? All right, so the trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. Jose Manjares. Okay. And then after that,
They brought Mr. White from the jail.
thank you for your patience.
Yes, ma'am.
Court is calling 2021 CR 7243, State of Texas versus Jessica Lee Johnson. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hey, state, Your Honor.
Defense?
John Robertson from Ms. Johnson.
All right, and are you Jessica Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. First, I'm sorry, state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. And second, state's motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Jessica Lee Johnson, who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 7243 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on September 8, 2021 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Ma'am.
All right, state.
This is on the first motion, Judge. Violated condition number 2, on or about the 6th day of February. I'm sorry. Violated condition number 4, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Jessica Lee Johnson did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of April, May, November, December 2022, and January 2023 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
And then, Judge, this is on the second state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter. Violated condition number 4 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Jessica Lee Johnson did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of March, April, May, June, July, and August 2023 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
And Your Honor, we've waived and abandoned the other violations alleged in the motions.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of conditions 4 and 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violations 4 and 4?
Yes.
Court will find violations 4 and 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
No, Your Honor.
All right, state, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, we're asking that you grant the motion, adjudicate the defendant guilty, and sentence the defendant to 10 years to do.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, I'm requesting the court consider something other than revocation, or if revocation is going to be imposed at a number less than 10 would be more appropriate. Ms. Johnson would like to address the court, kind of explain her situation. She advised me that her situation recently has actually improved as far as the stability of her personal life. She's had a lot on her plate the last year and a half or so. Has admittedly not performed well on probation, but she would like to address the court and explain it.
All right, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Jessica Johnson.
All right, what would you like to say?
Just now that I'm in a better stable environment, and my dad's health is a little better under control. And I was gonna try to ask for a final chance with probation being in the new county that we've relocated to. Me going away will leave my 18-year-old take care of my dad by himself.
All right, what have you been doing while you've been on probation? Because you have not been reporting.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we did move out to Pipe Creek, Texas. And my dad's health was up and down in the middle of us relocating. So we actually ended up leaving behind, half of our belongings at the old house and not even going back for it because my dad having to have surgery and being in and out the hospital.
Let me ask you this. Did you ever provide the location of the children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so because this is your third motion to revoke.
Yes, ma'am.
And the first one, it's
They're still in the same place with my mom that they've been the whole time because of my dad's health being up and down and us relocating. I didn't want to move my mom and them, to one county when we're moving in the middle of.
tell probation you were moving?
No, ma'am.
All right, because the first motion to revoke,
Right.
it was you were to provide proof of residency in Austin
Right.
and follow through on your CPS requirements. Did you complete CPS?
When I contacted them, when I got out, they said that the case was closed and there was nothing else for me to complete or do with them.
All right. Did you do felony drug court in Austin?
No, ma'am. I actually never ended up leaving. They had, my probation officer that I had went on, I don't know if it was a vacation or what, she ended up not coming back and I had got like a new probation officer. So I never even got to actually leave to Austin. They revoked it that time.
All right. Did you complete parenting classes?
No, ma'am, I didn't. With my dad and us moving, I didn't get to start anything. I did sign up while I was in the
So
county waiting.
you've been on probation since September 2021.
Right.
What have you completed?
I haven't got to complete anything else.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying now that I'm in more of a stable environment and situated and my dad a little bit more under control, I would be able to start and do everything that I was supposed to originally do.
All right. The court is finding violations 4, 4, and true. The court is going to grant the motion, find you guilty. Would parties like to speak to time? I know State, you said you're asking for 10 years.
Your Honor, I just think a more moderate sentence would be appropriate for her. She's got a lot on her plate. She's got responsibilities she needs to get back to. I would ask the court to consider a sentence closer to 2 than 10, given the situation.
Just one moment. All right, court will find you guilty, grant the motion, sentence you to 10 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yeah.
All right. You do have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you are on deferred adjudication. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And counsel, if she would like the therapeutic community, I can recommend that. It doesn't increase the length of time that you're in custody. Would you like that or no?
Yes.
All right. You'll still have to request it yourself. All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Jackson.
Kenyon Brown.